This is the Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Sky Rain. The whole set, or combined mode, is part of Wave 6 of these new Combiner Wars series of figures. You'll need 4 deluxe class figures from this wave. You'll need Wheeljack, Hound, Smokescreen, and Trailbreaker. And you'll need the body, which is the Voyager class Skylynx. So 4 deluxes and 1 Voyager, you'll make Sky Rain. I have no idea who Sky Rain is. I don't believe there was a G1 figure back in the 80s or combiner set of combiner figures that came that called itself Sky Rain. I think this is a Hasbro product that has yet to be put into canon. Maybe in IDW. I don't read a lot of IDW comic books, but it could be there. Maybe, I don't know, just in the comic book world. But as far as I can tell, the characters do belong in the G1 continuity and as well as the IDW continuity. Everybody knows who, if you grew up in the 80s, you'll know Wheeljack, you'll know Hound, you'll know Smokescreen, you'll know Trailbreaker, you'll even know Skylynx, but they never combined back in the day. So if you want to see my individual reviews of each of the figures, I have videos for them. Go check them out. Now this review is just going to be my thoughts on Sky Rain. It combines exactly like the Superion mold, where the arms of the Voyager figure are the legs, and then you just combine it with the normal Combiner Wars ports, and basically it's like any other Combiner Wars combined mode figure. My thoughts on this figure: it looks great as a display piece. On paper, I bet it just had a wonderful look to it. The whole concept of Autobots combining is always a welcome thing. It's always a welcome idea for me, because it's always the Decepticons combining and the Autobots. Well, they had Defensor, they had Superion, Computron, and I always felt they were outnumbered. And it started when, you know, Devastator combined and the Dinobots could not combine. So Autobots combining is always a plus thing for me. However, this one, it has its merits and it has its disadvantages. It's great as it is, as a display piece. You look at that. How often do you see a lion, a humanoid lion combined mode? Like it's like straight out of the pages of Beast Wars. So it's great. And the whole look of it is just fantastic. I mean, you got Wheeljack and Hound as the arms. You got Smokescreen and Trailbreaker as the legs. How cool is that? The only problem, I think my basic issue with this figure, with this combined mode, is the execution. The way Hasbro, the execution of Skylynx as a torso for Sky Rain. And I don't think Hasbro took into consideration the weight of each of the... I mean, this guy's pretty massive. This guy, because of the retooling, he's a lot heavier than Breakdown. This particular combined mode is very fragile. I mean, you push him and he could tumble any minute, as I said. The limbs on Skylynx are not tight enough to support the Sky Rain combined mode, particularly the hips. I mean, it's just so loose and flimsy. The combiner ports on both Wheeljack and Hound are very tight. That's why when you try to move the arms, the whole shoulder assembly moves, which shouldn't be the case. This should be tight. They should be locked down, and it just doesn't do that. It just doesn't do it. I mean, you can probably just keep him in a standing position, and he's just leaning back. It's so hard to get him in a nice animalistic pose, because he is look at him, he's like a space lion or something. Kind of reminds me of Voltron. But it will work. I guess it will work for basic poses, like standing up positions, like this. I'm sure it will. And he looks pretty stable. But the moment you start playing with it, it's like Menasor all over again, and it just. He's got that tail going on. It's okay for me, but I'm not a big fan of it. But it'll be very difficult to play with this thing. I mean, a lot of kids will probably be very disappointed with the playability of this combined mode. And to me, It looks so great in concept. I never thought it would look this great because in the internet photos, I said, Skyrain? What the hell is that? He never appeared in G1. And then I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And he looks great. Look at that torso. I'm such a big fan of this torso. Look at this head. And I'm not even a Beast Wars fanatic. I do love it. It's just that execution-wise, when the playability, this thing sucks. I remember, I mentioned in my review of Trailbreaker that I was thinking of using his fist foot accessory as the fist, and I was kind of hoping Smokescreen would have the same thing. Okay, I figured out how to do it. You just fold this one a bit, then you can pop it off. But right here, he just doesn't want to pop off because it's too square. It's too angled and it's being blocked right there, so you got to fold this one up a bit. And had they given us another one of these, man, the aesthetic on this thing would be super awesome. Like that, it's like a claw, it's like a paw, a lion's paw, or turned into a claw. That would really be great if we had two of those. Maybe they'd given that to Smokescreen, or Wheeljack, one of the fists, to given us another one of these, because the instructions don't really say anything about this particular piece as maybe part of the alt mode of Trailbreaker. I checked it again. I mean, I thought it would be like a tailgate, like that. You could stick it in at the back of the truck mode, and it should be fine. Sorry, Skyrain, you're gonna have to stand on one foot for now. Okay. In alt mode, there's really nothing. I mean, like that? He's like a camper or something? No idea. Or like a hitch. So, no idea how this thing works. But I'm still glad they put it. It's a nice, like a claw for Skyrain, but because they don't have another one, the symmetry of the figure is not going to be there. I mean, I kind of like things to be symmetric as much as possible. Maybe Takara will come up with a way to do that, but Hasbro, as it is, doesn't have that. So, can he stand up? Yes, if you angled the legs a bit. Come on, Smokescreen. Yeah, okay, he stands up, the normal standing pose. And the two weapons that came with Skylinks, sure, can hold them like that, like mini batons or mini blades, energy blade. It just sucks. I mean, this one should have been like two long swords, and that would have been great. So there you go, folks. I'm gonna have to give this figure, because of the flimsiness, that really takes a lot from this figure, from this combined mode. It's gonna get an 8.5 out of 10. I'm being very generous. I was gonna give it a 7.5 or 7, but 8.5 is, I think, the best I could do for this particular combined mode. It's great. Should you get it? Well, if you're gonna give it to your kids, maybe just to play with, just to bang around and stuff like that, just to have a Skyrain on your shelf, sure, why not? But get it on regular retail price or on clearance, if at all. Get the set for the individual figures. For the individual figures, they're great on Autobot shelves, but if you're a collector and you want the best one, I think you should wait for the Takara version. Transformers Generations Combiner Wars, the combined mode of Skyrain. Thanks for watching.